quickly now move to Aaron. Sorry about what we said earlier. We'll move to Aaron now. He'll give us some updates in sports, and we come back and we continue the show. Aaron, great to have you. Good morning.
Yes, a very good morning to you. Of course, I'll just quickly rush to this so that I can allow Emmanuel Afeni go through the papers.
Excellent.
But top on the agenda today happens to be the game between Manchester City and Paris Saint-Germain yesterday, being dubbed the £1 billion game. Of course, they are the biggest spenders in Europe. And yesterday, the citizens coming from behind, rallying from behind to beat Paris Saint-Germain, leaving them red-faced at the Parc des Princes yesterday. One man ultimately becoming the man of the match and actually distinguished himself heads and shoulders above the rest of the gang. Talking about Kevin De Bruyne, the Belgian. He was spectacular yesterday. He scored the equalizer and also was just unplayable in the second half. All right, Paris Saint-Germain had the opportunity to probably kill the tie in the first half. They didn't take their chances, and that's football for you. Now, moving away from that, Manchester United will be in action today, still in Europe, but in the lower echelons of European football. Manchester United will take on AS Roma tonight at Old Trafford, and Villarreal will be taking on Arsenal. This particular tie is very significant for the major reason that Unai Emery, the former Arsenal boss, is the coach of Villarreal, and he will be hoping to put one into his former employers. And Mikel Arteta will also be trying to save his own career and save a very subpar season that Arsenal are actually having in this campaign. And remember, Nigeria's Chukwueze, who has been phenomenal for the Yellow Submarines, will be hoping to unleash his deadly left foot. So we'll be looking out for that one. And these were the players, talking about the AS Roma players before they departed for England for the game between Manchester United and AS Roma. And the fans came out in their numbers to wish their team a very, very good luck. Of course, because of COVID-19 regulations, fans will not be allowed into the stadium to watch the game. But more importantly, the next page actually sent shivers down the spine of the coach of Manchester United, talking about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. In the AS Roma training ground in the capital, they posted a picture of him. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer might have made a gaffe when they won against Granada some 2 weeks ago, where he said he didn't know anything about AS Roma. The fans did not take it lightly, and they went after him, and he has had to apologize. He has had to retract the statement that he didn't mean any harm, or it wasn't a salacious statement, that it was in the heat of the moment, but the fans are not having it. But let's see what happens. The talking has to be done on the pitch, not literally off the pitch. Moving away from that, we've been speaking about this, and more importantly, Daniel Ek, talking about the founder of Spotify, has been putting his hat in the ring, and this is what he has to say about that 1.8 billion pound takeover of Arsenal. He said, "I'm very serious. I have secured the funds for it, and I want to bring what I think is a very compelling offer to the owners." Remember, the owners, talking about Stan Kroenke, is refusing to back down and says that he's still committed to Arsenal. But he went on in another statement, all right, to further buttress what Daniel Ek is actually saying. He said, "I've been an Arsenal fan since I was 8 years of age. I'm very serious, and I've secured the funds for this." Now, people have criticized him, saying that he claims to be an Arsenal fan, but don't follow Arsenal on Twitter. Whether that holds water or not is left to be seen. Since we're speaking about Arsenal, some Nigerian Professional Football League players, Dele Ayenugba and some of the likes, are employing Dangote. Rather than looking abroad and looking at Arsenal, invest in the Nigeria Professional Football League. We are seeing billionaires overseas investing in football heavily. It's a billionaires game. But in Nigeria, the billionaires that we have, Dangote, then they also mentioned the likes of Otedola, are not interested in investing in the Nigeria Professional Football League. Speaking about the Nigeria Professional Football League, Eyimba were in action yesterday in the CAF Confederations Cup. and fantastic for them against Orlando Pirates. And a beautiful stadium, I must actually say, the Enyimba Stadium in Aba. And the People's Elephant delivered. They needed a goal to qualify, and they did deliver a massive win for them. I must say congratulations to the People's Elephant. Before I come to you quickly, Francesca Odega, Nigeria international, has actually signed for Levante. And it gladdens my heart that the number of players, the female players to be particular, that are in Spain right now is swelling. It just means that they will earn more and they can be able to give back, because the ladies do give more back to the society than men. Tundu, you've been eager to talk to me for the last 2 days. I don't know if the question still stands.
It actually does, especially what you just said about AS Roma and the power of fans. Speaking of the Super League, which was aborted, that we've been talking about, and the fan reaction, which actually thwarted it before any politician could pass any legislation. I'm wondering how it is that these same fans are okay with having players that they love be racially abused for 90 minutes on the pitch. Can you imagine doing the job that you do and hearing all kinds of racial slurs from the moment you get onto the set to the moment that you leave? And these are how these players are operating. And the fans have done nothing about that. I want your comment on that.
Now, it's very unfortunate this is happening. We spoke about the boycott that is going to be happening starting from tomorrow. But some players take it too far. Now, we are speaking. I'm glad you mentioned the AS Roma. They are a group of people, fans that they call the ultras in Italy. These are die-hard fans that take the football a little bit too far, or a little bit too personal, a little bit too close to their hearts. And whatever happens, they just lash out and they just dish it out as they think, without even having any kind of recourse to consequences. And that is what we've seen happen time and time again. These people that have taken football a little bit too personal, because remember, we've spoken about chairmen of clubs, players being assaulted, or assaults happening in their houses. This should not be happening. These ultras should be put in check, especially on social media. And I'm hoping that the desired effect is actually experienced ultimately all through Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, when the social media boycott will be happening in England.
Well, the last time we discussed Arsenal, you and Rufai, you said no. Stan Kroenke is not likely to sell. But given the objection, the opposition from Arsenal fans, do you think that we're likely to see a situation different from what we saw 4 years ago when Alisha Usmanov tried to buy the club and Stan Kroenke refused? Will he refuse this time around? That's one question. Will he just cash out with the pressure from the Arsenal fans? Arsenal fans are even saying they want a golden share of the club. They want to be represented on the board so that they too can make decisions. And now that Daniel Ek has brought up this issue again, well, does he really have the money? I mean, 1.8 billion pounds, that's about the entire half of his financial power. So where is that money going to come from?
They say he has
Will it come?
Funds.
Yes, is it coming from Thierry, Beckham, and Vieira, who are the ones that are joining him? So we'd like to see how that plays out, whether the 73-year-old American will sell the club. His son, Josh, having reminded us at a meeting last Wednesday that they have no plan to sell and that they are a perfect fit. Now, with regard to fans, the fans in Nigeria, yes, they are asking Dangote and Otedola to make sure that charity begins at home. They are also talking to Senator Ojikalu, who also says he's interested in buying Arsenal, that no, Ojikalu should start with Enyimba, and that Dangote should start with another club, and Otedola should buy another club so that they can help develop local football. But do billionaires make such decisions on the basis of sentiments and emotions? Would they not be looking at the profitability of it? Do we have any club that is profitable enough at this moment? However, I understand the sentiments of the fans of the Nigerian League. You recall that in this country, we had Mr. Israel Adebayo of stationery stores. We have Chief M.K. Abiola of Abiola Bay. We had the Leventis family of Leventis United. We have Nwanyanwu National with Chief Nwanyanwu. But all of a sudden, the backstory of the Nigerian league is that our rich men are not interested in investing in it. But I hope a day will come when we'll get around to it. Yes, Pep Guardiola has been able to silence the critics. He did well, particularly in the second half. It was a very tactical game, but do you see the possibility of an all-English
final?
UCL final? You know, will it happen? Or Mauricio Pochettino will spring a surprise in another 5 days?
Now, quickly, let me just, so that I probably give an opportunity to fight to talk.
Yeah.
Let me just talk about the Daniel X issue. We know that he's worth about $4.5 million, and he says that he has raised the funds, not probably he's dipping into his pockets to actually finance this particular move. He has raised the funds. Now, the good thing is this. It's going to be a win-win situation for the club Arsenal, because when you look at the books, Arsenal right now is the club with the highest amount of debt to other clubs for players signed at the moment in England. Because they've signed players, they have not paid those, they have obligations to pay instrumentally, they have not been doing that. And Stan Kroenke has just been, for lack of a better word, he has been milking the club. That is how the fans see it. That he's getting so much return on investment and putting in little, like the likes of the Abu Dhabi group that is head in Manchester City, or probably Roman Abramovich, who has invested heavily into Chelsea, for example. So
right.
Ultimately, the Arsenal fans will be better off for it because they will have real cash flowing in the club.
All right, secondly, I think all Nigerian billionaires should emulate Ifeanyi Ubah on this. Ifeanyi Ubah United, formerly the club used to be owned by his brother, Gabros.
Yeah, Gabros, yes.
Gabros International. And Gabros did very well in the league back in the days. When Gabros was going decrepit, he took the club over. He was one of the first people to bring in a Brazilian to come play in the Nigeria local league. He maintained the club there in the Navy. Sometimes it's more than money. It's more than great return on investment. Abramovich will not tell you that he's made good return on investment on Chelsea, but he keeps on putting money. Sometimes
he even has a club in Russia.
Yeah, no, he had to leave the stake of CSKA Moscow. When Chelsea wanted to play CSKA Moscow, I remember. 2005,
no, he has acquired some other stakes in some other club.
We have other club, but formerly he used to own CSKA Moscow, and there was a law about you can't play both teams you own in the Champions League. So you'll see that is sentimental value. And I want our billionaires to be able to do this. I don't see why Alhaji Aliko Dangote can't take over Kano Pillars. Because if they take over Kano Pillars and other billionaires take over clubs locally, it's not about the return on investment for them. Then they'll be able to improve football. Greater players will be able to come into the league here. Secondly, the Spotify guy shouldn't waste his time. I'll tell him real quickly. Forget the fans. I say forget the fans deliberately. If the fans want to be involved, they will jointly make a bid or copy the German model. That's just what they should do.
But the 50+1 rule that is applicable in Germany is being reviewed by the government in the UK. But for now, it will be difficult.
For now, it will be difficult, but they should press for that. That's what the fans can do to get what they want. But you thinking the fans on Spotify and you thinking Kroenke will live up his shares at Arsenal, it doesn't look like a working idea. Let's be realistic. Let's put this on the table. And the clubs are bleeding. Hence why people like us were supporting the Super League. A lot of people were saying, oh, your mouth is smelling. But the clubs need the money. Let's not forget, most of these clubs are running debt.
Yes,
Aaron, let's call a spade a spade.
Those in England
but we need to go, Aaron.
Are very far better than those in Greater Europe, so to speak.
But we need to go because there's no time. But thank you so much for your time and analysis as always.